Hey, what's up everyone? So my last guide was focused on doing a stream setup for fighting game events, and this guide is focused on the single Twitch streamer, the streamer that's just streaming their own games. And I want to preface this by saying that this is meant for the streamer that either has a disposable income or is just trying to upgrade their stream, trying to get the highest quality possible. This is not meant for people that are maybe just doing this as a hobby or just starting out streaming. So this is for the people that want to play their games at ultra quality textures, 4K resolution, 144 Hertz refresh rate, and they don't want any impact on that from the actual encoding of the game. So without any further ado, here is the guide to doing a 2PC streaming setup. So this video is going to have 4 main topics. The first is going to be how we get the video from the gaming PC to the streaming PC. The second topic is how we're going to manage the audio between the streaming PC and the gaming PC. The third topic is going to be how you actually are going to control the streaming PC. And the fourth topic is going to be some recommendations for components for the streaming PC. So if I mention any specific hardware or software, I'll link to it in the description. And for hardware, there will be referral links, and they help me out because I actually can't monetize these videos on YouTube because I'm not a partner yet. So for anyone who bought links from my referral links last time, thanks a bunch. You are actually supporting me making more of these videos. So I saw in the comments of the last video that I did that it was just one big long commercial for XSplit. And I've always been pretty transparent that I work for XSplit. I mean, I'm wearing the shirts most of the time. But what I'm showing you how to do here can actually be applied to other software. They basically use the same concepts, if just different menus. First, let's talk about sending the video from your gaming PC to your streaming PC. If you don't have the budget for a capture card, you can actually send video via NDI over your network between your gaming PC and your streaming PC. On your gaming PC, create a free XSplit account. Once you're logged in, add your game source and then set your microphone on your gaming PC. Then set the resolution on XSplit and set the frame rate. So I recommend setting 1080 and 60 FPS. And then in the playout menu, send the NDI playout. Now on your streaming PC, add an NDI source and add the feed from your gaming PC. Now this concept basically works between any software that can send and receive NDI feeds. But one really important thing is to make sure that both PCs are connected via Ethernet to a gigabit router. And don't ever do this via Wi-Fi. If you do this on a router that does not have enough bandwidth or via Wi-Fi, you'll get really choppy feeds and you'll have to lower the quality. Now the other way of sending video from the gaming PC to the streaming PC is to use a capture card, and I think this is the most stable and effective method. Now if you're looking to capture 1440p, 4K, 144 Hz gameplay, then you're going to need a special kind of capture card. So some capture cards that can capture these refresh rates or resolutions is going to be the Elgato 4K Pro and the Magewell 4K cards. I've used them myself and I think they work pretty well. So for setup, you're going to use the HDMI port of your GPU and send that to the capture card. If you're planning to capture Ultra HD resolutions or high refresh rates, you'll need to use at least an HDMI 2.0 cable. You'll need to go into your display settings and duplicate the display between your gaming monitor and your capture card. You may also need to go into the advanced display settings and make sure that the capture card is getting the correct resolution and the correct refresh rate. Some capture cards have what's known as a pass-through. This is basically it'll take the input and pass it to the card as an output. This is useful if you don't want to use the duplicate display method, but if you're going to be doing Ultra HD resolutions or high refresh rates, you need to make sure that your monitor will support this through HDMI 2.0. Now if you'll only be gaming in 1080p 60 FPS, this basically opens up any USB 3 or PCIe capture card, and they should all really work out for you. So next comes a part which might be confusing to people doing this for the first time, which is audio. So the general goal is that the streaming PC will get your gameplay audio and your microphone, while on your gaming PC you'll still be able to use the same microphone to chat with your friends in Discord, along with being able to hear gameplay and any other sounds you're playing on your PC. So if you're using the NDI method, you'll basically use the XSplit instance running on that PC to control the volume levels for the microphone and the system sound. So the system sound is like Discord, Spotify, your game that you're playing. Now if you want to change the volume levels between individual apps like Spotify and Discord volume, you'll either need to use the volume controls within the apps or you'll need to use the Windows volume mixer. When you want to hear the final audio mix using the NDI method, you're basically going to check the audio on the streaming PC. Alright everyone, thanks for hanging in there. I know this video is quite a long one. We're about halfway through. But again, if you need to go to a specific section for your use case, in the description there's short links to skip to a specific part of the video. Now for a capture card setup, Audio routing depends on if you're using a USB or analog microphone. If you're using a USB microphone, you'll need to download and install Voicemeeter Banana. As your default playback device in Windows, you'll need to set it to Voicemeeter Input VAIO. Now in Voicemeeter, set your microphone to hardware input 1. And then for your hardware outputs, set your A1 to go to your capture card and set your A2 to go to your headphones. Now in the mixing section, you're going to enable A1 output for your hardware input and virtual input. This is going to be the audio that's going to the capture card. And for your A2 output, you're going to enable this for your virtual input. This is what's going to your headphones. You can enable hardware input 1 as well. That's if you want to hear your own microphone. And then you're just going to use a Voicemeeter mixer to mix the levels between your microphone sound and your gameplay audio. If you're using an analog microphone that's plugged into your microphone input on your PC, you can use the same method to route the audio, but it actually opens up the ability to route audio my favorite way, which is with an outboard mixer. So the device that I use is the Focusrite Scarlett. I use the model with 6 inputs and 6 outputs. That way I can connect a console, I can connect multiple microphones, and I can monitor my audio with a couple headsets. It also comes with software known as Focusrite Control. So what Control does is it let me create different mixes for different outputs. So in this mix here, I put an emphasis on the gameplay sound and lower the microphone volume. And on this mix here that actually goes to the stream PC, the microphone volume is higher and the gameplay audio is a bit lower. So if you're going to go the traditional mixer route, I recommend getting a mixer with auxiliary channels. So you're going to plug in your gaming PC and your microphone, and then the main output of the mixer is going to go into the line in on your streaming PC. And then on the auxiliary output, you're only going to send microphone audio, and you're going to send that to the microphone or line in input on your gaming PC. That way you can talk with your friends on Discord and they won't get your game audio. Now if you're going into the line input on your PC, I highly recommend using a ground loop isolator. That way you can remove any buzzing noise. Now let's talk about how you'll control the streaming PC while gaming. The easiest method to do this is to use a mouse and keyboard that's dedicated to the streaming PC. I personally use a small wireless mouse and keyboard that's pretty portable. If you don't have the space for an extra mouse and keyboard, I recommend this software called Mouse Without Borders. It lets you control up to 4 computers with a single keyboard as long as they're connected to the same network. I recommend setting up a hotkey that allows you to manually switch between the gaming PC and the streaming PC. If you use the default settings, it's easy to kind of mouse over too far from your game and be taken out of your game into the streaming PC. Another useful device is the Elgato Stream Deck. If you have the money to spend on this one and you switch scenes a lot, this is a pretty useful tool. Last but not least, if you're planning to build a streaming PC, it's important to put most of the budget towards the components that will improve the encoding performance. So the basic rule of thumb for X264 encoding is getting a processor with as many cores at as high frequencies as possible. There does become a point where the core count has diminishing returns. A good processor to start out with is the Ryzen 7. At the base frequencies, this can actually do a 1080p 60 FPS stream at the fast preset and not have too high CPU usage. If you want to go higher than this, you can get the AMD Threadripper or Intel i9 line. The reason for this is on certain platforms you might be limited on the bit rate. So this allows you to use lower presets like slow and placebo, and this will give you a better video quality. So for the GPU, most streaming software actually runs off the GPU. So I recommend getting at least an NVIDIA 10 series or above GPU. And you get the added bonus of having access to NVENC, which you can use if you want to record your stream as well. I also recommend getting at least 16 gigabytes of RAM and a secondary hard drive if you are going to be doing those recordings. Well, that about does it for setting up a 2 PC streaming setup. Thanks again for making it all this way. If you have any questions about audio or video routing, make sure to leave them in the comments. And really, this is the base level what this setup can do. You can add more cameras, you can start doing effects. The possibilities are endless, and I'll probably cover them in a future video. If this video was useful to you, make sure to give a like and subscribe for more videos. And good luck on your streaming endeavors.